about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, and DirtFish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
What is happening? Another edition here of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, with our good partners, General Tire, Subaru of America, Vision Wheel, DirtFish, Optimus, MotoShield Pro, Gibson Exhaust, KC Highlights. We've got some amazing partners here. Anyways, you guys get the picture. Anyways, we got a big one coming at you. You know, obviously coming back from the 4th of July. I was up on a lake, been on vacation, been in Seattle, DirtFish Summerfest. We're going to talk all about that and a whole lot more here in our opening segment coming up in just a few minutes. But if you're just tuning in, this is the one you want to tune into, right? If you've missed a couple of shows, welcome back. And Colin Braun, IMSA winner, he is on air today, taking him and Core Autosport, taking their very first prototype win in IMSA. I have him on the line, my boy Street Bike Tommy. Tommy is here on the line. He is going to be talking Travis Pastrana's big jump, or jumps. The Evel Knievel jumps, 3 of them he did Sunday night in Las Vegas, and Tommy was there on the ground right at the bottom of the landing ramps all 3 times. So Tommy's going to break that down for us, and we're going to talk some ARX Rallycross. We got Steve Arpan phoning in. He's teaming with Ken Block this year in the America's Rallycross Championship, DirtFish ARX at COTA this weekend. We'll have Arpin here to talk about that. And then we've got Andrew Carlson on the line. He is going to be talking about Midwest Short Course League. They're racing at ERX Motor Park this weekend. I will be there doing TV as well as the Lucas live stream. So we're going to break down that with Andrew Carlson. So packed show, lots to talk about. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Man, hopefully you guys had a great 4th of July. I know it was good for me. I was in Minnesota for a while, then over in Seattle for DirtFish Summerfest. I don't know, 2 weeks if you can pack as much into those days as I did. Definitely recharge the batteries, which was needed. And I think we're definitely going to. We here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, man, we've been growing like crazy, but I think it's time to circle back and kind of cover our bases here. It was like kind of things were getting, I don't want to say out of hand, but we're getting pretty crazy, and we're definitely going to get back into some more hardcore motorsports and racing talk. I mean, it's all personality driven, but as it always has been. But I think you guys will be stoked on the way things are looking moving forward. So today. Once again, we got Colin Braun, IMSA winner. We got Andrew Carlson. He's going to be talking ERX Motor Park and Midwest Short Course League this weekend. We've got Street Bike Tommy talking about the Pastrana jump, and then we've got my boy Steve Arpan. He's calling in to talk DirtFish ARX at COTA. So all that coming up over the next 2 hours. Welcome to the show. So the past couple of weeks, I was up in Minnesota, in Seattle this past weekend for DirtFish Summerfest. I know we've been talking a ton about it here on the show, hyping it up, and I got to tell you, did not disappoint. I don't know how many cars and people were there, but the cars that were on display, man, I mean, you had rally cars, right? And they had Travis Pastrana's car that he jumped in action figures too, and like a lot of just normal rally cars, like you would, see it something you think you would see at DirtFish, but they had a lot of exotics. There was a Ferrari there, McLaren there, a Lancia there. Some of the vintage rally cars out of Steve Rimmer from DirtFish, his personal collection, were there. My favorite car, though, first time I'd actually ever seen one in the flesh, a Subaru 360. And I don't think you guys even know what a Subaru 360 is. I'm sure some of you Subi fans know exactly what it is. Everybody else, like, what are you talking about? So Subaru 360 was like the first car Subaru ever sold in the United States. This thing is teeny tiny, smaller than a smart car, maybe about the same size as a smart car, little two-seater, very tiny, rad-looking little car. First car Subaru sold in the United States, made them in the 60s and early 70s. I saw that, and I'm like, I have to have one of those. Like, immediately, I'm like, I need to buy one of those. And you see it, and I was like, what are those things going to be used? Maybe like, what, 8-10 grand, maybe a little rough, needs a little TLC. Anyways, I go to eBay. Subaru 360, the one they had for sale there, $48,000. And I went, yeah, I don't know that one's going to make the garage anytime soon. Regretfully, I want one bad, but not at $48,000. I saw that little Subaru 360, and I'm like, you got that, or you can get a brand new WRX STI for less money. And I'm like, oh gosh, it's a tough call, right? They also had like Subaru, the new WRX Type RA. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but it's like probably the most expensive Subaru they've ever built for production. But things rad. They've only made like a handful of them, and had a couple. Had one of those on display there, and just all in all, good time. Jolene Van Butte, my Razor Starcar teammate, she was up there as well right before she flew to Travis Pastrana's thing. Actually, DirtFish sent me up in a helicopter while he was there. I was epic. Never been in a helicopter before, right? All the flying I do, and I'd never actually been in a helicopter. Got to see DirtFish from overhead, and I got to tell you, they got just a massive amount of property there. You don't realize, like, you think it's big, and then you actually get the opportunity to see it from above, and like all the roads and things like that, and it's like, wow, like it's kind of humbling, man, to just see how much is actually there. Really, really cool stuff. So, really fortunate to get to go up there. I had my daughter up there with me. Her and I did a little adventuring, had some fun. Space Needle, full tourism thing, rad view. You fight people. So I'm telling you, if you ever actually are in Seattle, want to do the Space Needle, we were there at like 9 a.m. We beat the rush, but the line that formed behind us, oh man, it was crazy. So definitely, I would say do that early in the morning. And they actually have coffee and you can get breakfast up in the top of Space Needle and have it overlooking just a rad view. It's crystal clear day. We could see just for miles. So awesome. But the rad thing I got to do while I was up there, indoor skydiving. My daughter, she's 9. I said, what do you want to do in Seattle? She says, skydive. I'm like, what do you want to skydive? I'm like, I can't take you skydiving. And then I looked and I'm like, oh, we can do I Fly indoor skydiving, right? So we tried that out, and I had a heck of a good time. Like, I would totally do that again. It makes you want to really skydive, which I think is the thing. They had actually a 12-year-old that was there in Seattle doing some training. They're getting ready to go to the World Championship in Dubai, like in 2 weeks. And this 12-year-old kid, it was crazy. The acrobatics he was doing there in the wind tunnel was just insane. So I'm just saying, if you've got, I think you got to do a class before they actually throw you in there. But if you ever get the opportunity to do some indoor skydiving, they've got the centers around the country where you can do it. So worth the 1.5 to 2 hours of time. Absolutely do it. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Definitely worth the money for sure. I'm going to do it again. I didn't embarrass myself, so definitely going to do it again. So yeah, that happened. And then, like I said earlier, Jolene Van Butte, she flew out early because she was heading to Pastrana's. And oh man, TP Travis Pastrana, knocking out 3 of Evel Knievel's most infamous jumps over the buses, over the crushed cars, and then finally over the fountains at Caesar's Palace. And the cool thing about TP was he, I think the biggest thing with this, like, if you're going to do it, like, Evel Knievel's a legend. You just don't touch that guy, right? He was a badass. He still is a badass. He's Evel Knievel. He gave a lot of my friends jobs, basically. He was the first action sports and stunt performer, period. Bar none. I guess the first one that actually really counts. But anyways, Travis, it's a touchy thing when you go to recreate Evel's jumps, right? Because you want to be respectful to a legend, and I was so proud of Travis and the way things came off, because I think he showed the utmost respect to Evel and Evel's family and the things that Evel Knievel accomplished. And he did the 3 jumps. And he did them on a bike similar, and it's more advanced. I mean, we're not going to lie here, but it's not like he went and did it on, a brand new CRF 450 dirt bike. He did it on an Indian street bike. You know what I mean? So it was a similar bike to what Evil kind of did it, similar wheel travel, things like that. So I just thought it was really classy the way Trav did it. It was a nice nod to Evel Knievel. Just everything went smooth as butter, as my friend Hubert texted me. I was just getting off the plane when this happened, so I had to watch the jumps later on and text, and had a group text with Tommy and Hubert and Jolene, and I said, how's everything going with TP? Just got off the plane, and they go, smooth as butter. So, yeah, I mean, I know Travis got in a lot of practice jumps and things like that. Was this the most death-defying stunt Travis Pastrana has ever done? Absolutely not. Was it still dangerous as all hell? Absolutely. So, big shout out to TP for doing that. We're definitely going to talk a whole lot more of that when we got Street Bike Tommy on in the next hour. But really excited, to chat on that. It was a heck of a weekend for for Pastrana, and actually for me, I had a lot packed in there. And don't forget, we're going to give you a few promos throughout the show, but Lucas Oil Midwest Short Course League this weekend, ERX Motor Park, Minnesota. Be there if you're in Minnesota. If you're not, you can tune in at Lucas Oil TV. Download the app or on their website. We'll be live streaming there. I will be your host commentator for the weekend, so you can hear me talk through a bunch of off-road action all weekend long from the Midwest. And if you haven't already, man, good partners of ours jumped on board this year. I've been a long-time user of their product. Now we've kind of got a formal relationship, but MotoShield Pro. I just posted a video to all my social media feeds, shared it on Facebook, posted it to Instagram yesterday, also on Twitter, but check that video out, man. Some insane technology, nanotechnology. It's a new technology taking the automotive world by storm. I think, and it's not just racing. It's something that you can apply to your everyday vehicles, but we're going to be talking a lot about nanotechnology in the next couple of weeks because these people at MotoShield they're changing the game. So it's rad stuff. We are going to take a short commercial break. We come back. My boy Steve Arpan, he's on the line talking DirtFish ARX at COTA after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. Whether you're looking for a tire that balances high performance responsiveness and traction in wet and light snow conditions, excellent handling and traction in wet and dry conditions, or a summer performance tire designed with the driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has you covered. From the all-new G-Max RS to the Grabber ATX, no matter what you drive, General Tire will get you where you're going. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. General Tire, cruising with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I've partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at motoshieldpro.com.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Just waiting for my boy Steve Arpan to call in. We're going to shoot him a text right now as we are on air. My boy Steve. Hey, where you at, Steve? All right, as we send Mr. Steve Arpan a text. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here as I text, and I'm talking to you guys too. So I'm literally, we're just shooting from the hip here today, right? All right, text is sent to Mr. Steve Arpan there, and hopefully we get Steve-O on the line. I know he's, you want to talk about a guy that is busy running that team. Obviously, he's teaming with Ken Block this year. There we go. Here, it's like clockwork, right? Sometimes texting does work. Welcome to the line, Steve Arpan, my man. We were just texting you and talking about you as we were waiting for your call in, buddy.
Well, I hope I'm not as slow off the line as I was calling into your show tonight. It's been a busy morning for sure.
Yeah, well, I understand. Well, and I know we'll keep our text from last night to us, but I know it's been a hell of a whirlwind for you, dude.
Yesterday was one of those days where about 6 o'clock I walked into the back, I looked at the guys, and I said, I'm going home. I've had enough today, and I went and took my wife out, went out on the lake, and had dinner. So it was one of those days, but needed a little recharge.
Oh yeah, dude, I get it. So what's the plans for you guys? When are you heading out? I mean, how far is it from Charlotte to Coda? I mean, that's got to be a couple-day drive, right? Or the guys they got to be pulling out soon, huh?
Well, the coolest part about this trip is we've got my dad and my good buddy Adrian Gordon that we used to race dirt cars with all over the country, and there are two truck drivers. So we call it's just like watching the movie Step Brothers. These two are just wild and crazy when they get together, and they are definitely going to make it down the road making good times. So it's we got the G-style truck pulling the rig, big old Peterbilt. So it's they're getting ready to hit the road right away here.
Yeah, I feel like you guys need to put like a camera on the dash and just record the audio for the trip, because I think it can make for some really good sound bites.
I don't think we want footage of whatever is going to happen on that trip. I don't think we want any proof of anything. So, no, but it's man, it's been a whirlwind. These cars are so much fun to drive. I showed up to work this morning. We had Ken's car sitting outside the door warming up, and I got to hop in and do practice hole shots all morning. So it's a good start to the week for sure.
Yeah, well, and let's talk about that, because I know I was back there in Charlotte, swung by the shop. Was it into May, right before Memorial Weekend, I think. But, the cars were still kind of in pieces. I don't think you'd driven one at that point. I mean, compare this car to what you were racing last year, because, I mean, the car you had last year, you were winning races in. I mean, what's the biggest difference? I know Ken and Backer did a lot of development on these the past couple of years. I mean, what's the biggest difference? I know it's a little bit bigger than your car you race, but, I mean, what's the big difference in handling? I mean, you're going to have to adjust your driving style for this? I mean, give us a lowdown on this new car.
Yeah, we actually went over to Coda 2 weeks ago. We went over there to do a test. It was us. Ken, that was his first time in the car. He absolutely loved it. That was a good sign, especially compared to what he's done before with these cars. So Ford and Hoonigan, they entrusted us to take what they started with and continue the development. There was a lot of work to be done, and our guys were like you said, we're winning races in our Fiestas last year, and these folks need some work to be able to get to that point. and it's pretty exciting with how far we've come. We definitely still have room to go. We still have a long ways to go, but it's been a lot of work, complete suspension redevelopment, lots of different stuff from the setup standpoint, and so on and so forth. Working on a complete new shock package on these things, so that's a work in progress, and it's been a whirlwind. But the difference, everything. It was my first time on a real rallycross track last week at Coda, and these things are so much longer and so much wider. They're just a bigger car than my Fiesta. That Fiesta was so nimble. It's like you could look a different direction. You could have that thing going that way in a heartbeat. So these cars are definitely going to have an adjustment period. I wish we had more than 4 races this year, especially with the Nitro Circus race announced now. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see when instincts take over, and I don't have so much time to think about it when the first green light goes off on Saturday.
Yeah, well, and it's funny you mentioned something back there. You said a real rallycross track, and that was going to be my next question. I mean, I know some of the guys like, Ken, who's gone over to Europe, and Tanner, and, there's a handful of guys that, from the States that have gone and raced ERX and WRX and things like that. But, I mean, the tracks, I mean, it's a different feel. I mean, GRC, it was a complete different concept that GRC had for rallycross. I mean, do you feel like you're going to have to adapt your driving style to these tracks being a little more European-ish?
Absolutely. This is, one of the coolest parts about ARX is they're really working hard at putting permanent tracks in all over the country. So the dirt section, it's going to be settled in dirt that actually has a foundation to it. GRC, when they were building the permanent-looking temporary tracks, it made it tough to get stuff like with the qualities that a permanent facility would have.
Yeah.
The Coda track, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's a work in progress for sure. We got our first race this week and see how it goes. And I'm sure there'll be some changes and improvements made on it, just like we do with our race cars, right? Every time we go run them, we learn something. I'm sure we're going to learn a lot about this track this weekend, and thankfully we have a second go at it. We're going to come back later on this year with the World Rallycross of the Americas in September.
Yeah, well, and here's the question. I mean, you've known Ken. You've been friends with KB for years, right? I mean, you've known him since at least you got into GRC years ago. But working side by side with him, and and he's got this whole marketing machine in Hoonigan and things like that. I mean, what have you been able to, as a driver and a guy like? I mean, you're like me. You're a blue collar racer, I call it. We got to go out. We got to sell sponsorship. It's all about marketing and giving people ROI. We're not independently wealthy. We just can't write checks to go racing. I mean, what have you been able to take away so far from this relationship with Ken and this whole media machine that he's got?
Well, first and foremost, the most amazing part of this whole thing, and it just absolutely shocked me, is how engaged he is. Like, he is involved in every single aspect of the program. We're in Coda doing photography stuff, doing a little bit of a launch promo, and it blew my mind. Ken was the guy making the decisions. He was the guy talking about where he wanted the photos done and what angles and so on and so forth. And he was correcting the guys that already had the whole plan put in place. So it's pretty wild. And then we got testing. He's definitely. It shows why he's been so successful in everything he does, and it shows why he's been able to push the limits so much in all the Gymkhana videos and Terracon and everything he does from that standpoint. His attention to details incredible, and I think with all my racing experience and everything that I've been able to race through the years, coupled with his experience especially on the marketing side and his talents as a driver, pair this stuff up. It's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Hopefully sooner than later, and we're gonna have some learning experiences due, and probably experience some growing pains, but it's going to be a good deal. I am so freaking pumped about it. It's stupid.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, so this time last year, were you more excited about the start of GRC season, or are you more excited about the start of ARX? Because I know your off season has been, at one point, I think you were headed to the white padded room. This off season, I mean, how you feeling now compared to last year, buddy? I mean,
every off season is like, That's every off season for guys like us. Right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty much heading to the white padded room on a regular basis. It seems like, but I'm good. I'm good. You know, you want to know what's stupid? I am so excited. Like, first off, to have all of our partners come back, and this is it was a risk for them, right? It's a new series, a short schedule, all that. We have, especially with Ineos. Ineos has been with us from the get-go. They took a chance when we first started this team, and now it's a new series, only 4 races, and the best thing for them to do is just take a year off and wait and see what happens. But they jumped right back on board with us, and I can't thank them enough. So that's pretty exciting. All the hoonigan stuff and all that. But you want to know what's crazy? We're racing in Austin, Texas, in the middle of July, right? Like if there is a hotter place in the country, I'd be shocked to find it. And I got this new Alpine Stars suit. I've never had a suit like this before, and I'm sitting on the front stretch at Coda last week taking pictures, and I've got this breeze going through that thing, and I've finally had this race suit that like breathes and I'm comfortable in, and I never knew how bad things were before until I've had a suit like this. It's mind-blowing.
So the one takeaway from the off-season
I'm telling you, man, it's like built-in Gold Bond. Like, it is unreal.
Dude, I'm going to have to note to self. Note to self, man. I need to get on Steve Arpan's driving suit program, right? Especially here in the desert, because we sweat our ass off 90% of the time.
There's some ventilation areas in there that you have never dreamt of before. We'll leave it at that. You got to try one.
That is on the bucket list now, buddy. The things I didn't know I needed until we have Steve Arpan on the radio show. Oh, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, buddy. Good luck this weekend at ARX. I know I'll be out there at the second round at Coda, the WRX round the end of September. So looking forward to catching up with you, but good luck, man.
I appreciate it, my friend. Hopefully we'll do something big this weekend and give you a reason to have us back on next week.
You know it. You win, you're back on next week. That's the way this deal rolls, buddy.
Sounds good, and if I don't win, I'll probably just do something stupid enough that you'll have to find a reason to talk to me anyway.
Yeah, right? That's it. If you can't be the news, make the news. All right.
That's right.
All right. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
All right. Take care. All right. That was Steve Arpan, and we will be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 Mud Terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I've partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online in syndication on networks across the U.S. and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, waiting on Andrew Carlson to phone into the show. This is a big event for him coming up there at Lucas, there at ERX Motor Park. Midwest Short Course League, his home track. His family actually has their facility there at ERX. Amazing first-class race facility. But looks like we got Andrew calling in right now. Welcome to the show, Andrew Carlson. How's everything going, my friend?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, buddy, man. Just getting ready to hop a plane to I guess out to ERX here come Thursday. But you're already there. How's? I know the weather's looking pretty rainy for Minnesota most of the week, though, right?
Yeah, it's been sprinkling a little bit today, but the good news is the track holds water really well, and it's been a little dry, so it should soak up really well, and it should make for a good track.
Yeah. Well, this one, I know, we got a lot to talk about in this segment, but I don't know if a lot of listeners know. I mean, people I think in the know do, but ERX, this isn't just your home track. I mean, this is like your track, right? I mean, how is it to have a national, an event of this caliber being like literally, I don't know if I can even say in your backyard, like it is your backyard. I mean, how is that for a guy like you to have an event like come to your home? I mean, this is pretty big for you guys.
Yeah, it's really cool to have this facility right in the backyard and get to be a big part of it. It's definitely a big undertaking, and it takes a lot of people and a good crew and a lot of organization. But on race day, especially if I got a good race going and we do well, it totally is worth it. It's really fun, and we want to get back to the sport and help grow the thing and develop it, and we have a good spot to do that. So, it's a total family deal, and we just love racing. So it's cool to have the track here, and just get to give our crack at what we think a racetrack should be.
Yeah. Well, and here's the question. I know we've had you on air in the past, but, and you've kind of, moved on from the snowcross career. But here's the question, because I know I've talked with Levi LaValle, and he's talked about, potentially wanting to, do a little off-road at some point. And like everybody, it seems like, you leave snowcross and you got to graduate into something. I mean, what was a gateway for you to like off-road short course? I mean, and it wasn't one of those where, I mean, you kind of had 1 year where I think 1 or 2 years where you crossed over, and then it was just like, boom, I'm full-time off-road, because I think you could still be, really competitive on a sled, and you were just like, nope, we're going to concentrate fully on off-road. But, I mean, what was the gateway? What was the draw from you being a snowcross racer to like, hey, I think we're going to go over to off-road full-time?
Yeah, so I've always watched, like the Lucas Oil stuff on TV growing up, and just thought it was super cool. Didn't really ever see myself doing it. I would like to, but, I went to a few races and was just really hooked on it, and started riding for Polaris in the winter, and we were having some UTV races out at ERX, and started doing Terracross and stuff like that, and it was something I really fell in love with. I I kind of naturally just fit really well in the 4-wheel. And yeah, just something I thought was really cool. And we started doing some UTVs at some of the torque races and stuff like that. And eventually rented a Pro Light, and it's kind of all history from there. But that's just, it's kind of always fit my skill set. You know, how I've been in snowcross, I've been more of a calculated driver, which on some tracks it can hurt me, and you know, some can help. But coming into the 4-wheel, I feel like it really helps me, and it, you know, just the way I race, it fits me well, and I really have a fun time doing it. And I get a bigger rush out of doing it. You know, I've been racing snowmobiles since I was 4 years old, and it takes a lot for me to be like, oh wow, like that was something that got my heart racing. And not that it's not exciting or not extreme, it's just I've been so used to it, and I've always been doing it. And I can get in the truck and just, you know, I can be giddy in that thing pretty easy. It doesn't take too much. So just super fun, and they're just, it's like the power in those things is unreal. So just that, you know, being in racing and having something with 900 horse, it's you don't have to twist my arm too hard to get me in there.
Well, and I know too, like, you know, and you know, I was talking to Levi a while back, and this is just him and I talking, but he was saying one of the big things about snowcross, and you know, I give you and everybody that races snowcross a lot of credit, and even like Jolene went and did a couple things with the K2s last year, and she told me, she's like, I wasn't ready for that, like the physical fitness level that you have to have, you know, and the training and the laps that you have to do on the practice track. I don't think people understand the level that you have to be competitive in snowcross, you know? And I got a feeling, I mean, I know off-road is, you know, you still have to put in the time, but it's not quite, you know, at that commitment level that you have to, I think, to be competitive at snowcross. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you're right. You're right on there. I mean, there's dudes doing it full time. That's all they do. And to be competitive, you have to be doing it too. So, I mean, especially at the pro open level, like I raced 3 years in that, and at the end, I mean, that I got a college degree while I was doing it, and you know, was blessed to be able to have racing put me through college and have the opportunity where I could do that. But it's like, man, if I ever want to use this education, you know, in the next couple of years, I'm going to have to find something else, because it's just, and then, you know, on the body too, I've had 4 knee surgeries and been banged up, and I limp like an old man, and I'm only 25. So it's just, it was a choice I made. I'm married now. I got a kid on the way, and it's just something, just a transition I chose that I wanted to do. And I still love snowcross. You know, that's kind of, that'll be my first love kind of deal in racing. And you know, I still race in the winter, just not at the same level, and I do more like the distance racing, so kind of like the desert racing in the razors and stuff like that, but just on sleds. So still have a lot of fun and still riding sleds, but definitely focused on the trucks. And I know my family thinks it's a little safer, and you know, you still get beat up, and I still know my chiropractor pretty well and stuff like that. But you know, I haven't been to the doctor quite as much, knock on wood. But yeah, it's just a little easier on the body, and I can still get that rush, like I said earlier. And yeah, but still huge props to all the guys that are doing the snowcross. It's not easy, and you know, just the commitment level you have to have, and it's a full-time deal. And to do it right and to not be getting hurt, you got to be fully prepared, and you got to have a lot of laps on the sleds and a big crew behind you. And yeah, so I think like that side of it, the team aspect, I feel like it helps us in the off-road, because I've worked with a lot of mechanics, and like vehicle setups is really huge in snowcross. So it's like I haven't raced off-road for that long, and I don't have the experience a lot of these other guys do, but I have raced a lot in my day, you know, like especially jumping and stuff like that. I feel super comfortable doing it in the truck, because there's a lot of that I can transfer over and just try to apply it to 4 wheels and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a fun transition.
Well, I don't think a lot of people realize, I think they think, in an off-road truck, once you jump, you're just there for the ride. And I don't think people realize there's actually a lot you can do in the air. And, just like on a sled where you can, control, the nose and in the back of the truck. And, that way you can kind of land it proper. And I think people don't realize that you can actually do that in an off-road truck. And I'm sure everything you've done on a sled, and jumping and things like that and know how to land smooth. I mean, that transition's over. You just have to go about it a different way to get the truck to react, but you can still make those changes in the air.
Oh, absolutely. And a big part of it is, too, you can always do it in the air, but if you do it right off of the face, you won't have to. So a lot of it, I just picture myself sitting down on the sled. If I was strapped to the sled and I hit the face of this, what's it going to do? And it's almost like that's the stuff that makes you hesitate, is when you don't know what the vehicle is going to do when you hit stuff.
Yeah.
And I understand, that's the biggest learning curve, even getting in a Pro Light versus a Pro 2 or whatever. They all react a little bit differently, but if I have somewhat of a knowledge, hit it on a dirt bike or anything, they're all going to do a very similar thing. Like if you hit a 1 foot long bump wide open on a 450, it's going to buck you. It's the same thing in the truck. You can scale it up a little bit, and if it's half the size of your wheelbase, the thing's going to jump weird, or it's going to do this or that. So just applying a lot of those rules, and I think I've done a good job of that, like applying seat time I have in other vehicles into off-road, and it's not a one-for-one, but for sure it's not hurting me. Like I'm getting some benefit out of it. I don't have as many laps in a Pro 2 or whatever as a lot of the guys, but I think whether it's false confidence or not, it's definitely something that gives me peace of mind.
Yeah. So talking about this year, we got a couple minutes left, but Pro 2 and Pro 4, man, how is that jumping back and forth between the two trucks and, committing to running, for both a Pro 2 and a Pro 4 championship, man? It makes you extra busy on race days.
Oh, it's awesome. That's how I like to do it. And I was going to race the RS1 this year if I didn't do the Pro 4, and then the Pro 4 deal came up. So I'm like, I'll just focus on those two for now. But I did it last year, and I really like it. I grew up in snowcross. I'd run 4 different classes as I was coming up, and it's like I just like being busy on race day and being on the track a lot, and seeing how the track progresses and stuff like that. So I feel like it's a fun challenge for me, and the Pro 4 is awesome. So last year I raced the Pro Light, and as soon as I got in the Pro 2, I'm like, man, this thing's a little doggy. I could use some more power. And so I thought the Pro 2 was dialed, super fun and all that. And now I'm in the Pro 4. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna keep the Pro 2 rugged now. I got a lot more power in the Pro 4, and figuring out how to use it. It's cool. I think it definitely helps me going back into the Pro 2 because it's not something that will spook me as easy and stuff like that, because I'm used to 150, 200 horse more and stuff like that. But the trucks handle very similar. Like at Crandon, I mean that's really the only other time I've driven it. But it wasn't as big of a transition as I thought it would be. I kind of hopped in one, and it felt very similar, just 4-wheel drive. Just don't counter steer. That's about it.
Yeah. So what's it going to take this weekend there at ERX for you to put Pro 2 and Pro 4 on top of the box, buddy?
Just have consistent runs. I feel like we have the speed, and like at Crandon in the Pro 2, the one day we had a steering issue and stuff like that. Just keeping it off the wall, keeping it clean, and I think if we can just keep it on the track and get some solid laps in, I feel like the results will come. So. But Pro 4 definitely going to be just having to learn on the fly. I don't have limited seat time in the truck, but Greaves are helping me out a bit, and I feel confident, and if there is a place I want to race, it's here. So I'm super happy. We got a race here at the home track, and can't wait to get that Pro 4 out there.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, Andrew. Best of luck this weekend. I'm just stoked I get to go back there and call the fun, and I guess we'll see you Thursday night, buddy.
Awesome. Sounds good, Jim. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. Take it easy, buddy. All right, that was Andrew Carlson. He is racing Midwest Short Course League this weekend at Lucas, at ERX Motor Park there in Elk River, Minnesota. Definitely head on out if you're in the Minnesota area. I guess Wisconsin, South Dakota. I don't care. Make the trip over there. It's definitely going to be worth your trip to go and watch the racing fun there at ERX Motor Park. Amazing facility. I've been there quite a few times for razors and snow bike stuff, and just an amazing place. So make your way out there. If not, you can tune in at lucasoiltv.com, watch the live stream, and I guess hear my commentary and watch Andrew race. But we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
All right, and we are back, kind of capping off hour number one here. Fun hour number one. Steve Arpan, Andrew Carlson, talk some Summerfest, Travis Pastrana, a lot of fun, a lot of shenanigans, and I can't think you can ask for much more out of an hour of radio. Hour number two coming up, we got Street Bike Tommy, Colin Braun, your IMSA winner for Core Autosport. They're on them Continental tires. Going to be a good hour number two. We're going to be talking some ARX, NHRA, Redbud, IndyCar. I don't know. We got a lot to talk about today. We took a week off. That's what happens when you take a week off. If you want more out of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, or you want more out of Project Action, my other podcast, easiest way to do it, go to downanddirtyshow.com. My boy Chris Leone, he is pumping out all kinds of rad content, motorsports articles, racing articles. We've got TV airing times, any kind of news, anything that you need to know in the world of motorsports, we're dropping it at downanddirtyshow.com. Not only that, but you can find all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Project Action there as well. So Good content. If you haven't checked out the website in a while, I know a lot of you just tune in. You may be listening, nationally or on iTunes. You don't make it your way over to the website. It's worth going to downanddirtyshow.com, checking it out. And as always, at JimBeaver15 on all forms of social media. Please join our Facebook group. It's facebookgroups.com/ Jim Beaver 15, I believe. So, join our Facebook group and subscribe on iTunes if you haven't already. It's it's easy. It's the easiest way to get the show. It's beamed right to your phone every single week when we got a new episode drop of both Down and Dirty Show and Project Action. You'll have to subscribe to them both. But when you do that, leave a rating or review as well, and I'll follow you back on social media when I see those. If you leave your Twitter, Instagram at username in the body of the review. So, thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna, cap off hour number 1 here. We got Colin Braun, Street Bike Tommy on the line. Hour number 2 after this break. So thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online in syndication on networks across the U.S. and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, and we are back kicking off hour number 2 here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I am Jim Beaver. Thank you guys for tuning in each and every week. Much appreciated, keeping us up there in the top of the charts as far as racing and radio goes. So we got this nice little quick segment that opens up hour number 2. I guess forward-looking. I don't know what we're supposed to do with 3 minutes of airtime, but coming up this hour, we've got Colin Braun, your IMSA winner in the prototype division for Core Autosport there, racing on Continental tires. He'll be calling in, and then we've got Street Bike Tommy, my boy Street Bike Tommy. He was on the ground floor there at Travis Pastrana's Evil Live event, where Travis Pastrana recreated 3 of Evil Knievel's jumps. So Tommy, he's going to be calling in here in hour number 2 as well. So going to be a good time. Anytime Tommy's on air, it's great. We'll probably talk some barbecue too. That boy, he's got some good recipes. Street Bike Tommy, Colin Braun, they're coming up. I gotta make a big announcement for my friends at the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. Hopefully you are following them on social media. If you're listening to this show, obviously you know I'm an off-road racer, and Off-Road Hall of Fame, near and dear to my heart. I actually just became a sponsor of the Off-Road Hall of Fame this year. So I don't know if you guys are on their newsletter. It's actually one of the few motorsports newsletters that is worth it, right? Mine is one that you should be subscribing to. I'd say the Racer newsletter, Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame newsletter. Those are 3 solid ones that I get, and I actually read. Off-Road Hall of Fame, their big day is tomorrow, one of their biggest days of the year, because this is when they announce their inductees for 2018. So the class of 2018 for the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, that will be announced tomorrow morning. So if you're listening nationally, it's already been announced. But if you're listening online, it's tomorrow, Wednesday, the 11th, July 11th. So the inductees, the class of 2018, going to be announced tomorrow. I'm excited. This is one of those big ones. I always look forward to every year. It's like, who's going to get in? There's so many amazing people that should be in, but they only let a handful each and every year. So looking forward to that. So those announcements coming tomorrow. I'll definitely be sharing on social media, and we'll be talking about it next week. Maybe we'll get one of the inductees on air as well. But that coming up tomorrow, so be looking for that. And we're going to take a short break, come back, talking some ARX here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Whether you're looking for a tire that balances high-performance responsiveness and traction in wet and light snow conditions, excellent handling and traction in wet and dry conditions, or a summer performance tire designed with the driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has you covered. From the all-new G-Max RS to the Grabber ATX, no matter what you drive, General Tire will get you where you're going. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. General Tire, cruising with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right. We are back here in hour number 2. Next segment, we got Colin Braun. After that, it is my boy SBT. That is Street Bike Tommy. Right now, we're going to talk, a little ARX and, a little of everything. But before we do, I want to talk to you guys about our friends at GenuinePolarisParts.com and Polaris Razors. And one thing that Polaris prides themselves on is the durability and reliability of their off-road vehicles. While these machines are dependable as anything in the industry, things happen that leave you in need of replacement parts for your favorite toy. You're a do-it-yourselfer and want the exact parts that have taken you this far. GenuinePolarisParts.com is your go-to online retailer for genuine OEM original manufactured parts and accessories. Their step-by-step ordering process allows you to ensure you are getting the right parts for your Polaris off-road vehicle. GenuinePolarisParts.com makes it easy and stress-free by having all the diagrams associated with the year, make, and model of your unit. Once you narrow down your search, you'll see a list of diagrams that visually let you see the parts that you need to be replaced, which eliminates the headaches of second-guessing your part or trying to explain which part you need over the counter at the dealership. Go to GenuinePolarisParts.com/Jim Beaver, and you'll be able to take advantage of a special offer that's exclusive to the listeners of this show. Again, it's GenuinePolarisParts.com/Jim Beaver. Get your parts delivered directly to your doorsteps with genuinepolarisparts.com. And, so DirtFish ARX at COTA. I should say DirtFish ARX at COTA. Man, I am failing as a brand ambassador for DirtFish, leaving that out. Whew, shame on me. Shame on me. Sorry, DirtFish, but thank you guys for having me up there in Seattle this past week. Had an amazing time there. Just saying, if you guys haven't ever been to DirtFish, you are missing out on an epic, epic good time. Looking at this field, obviously, big news, DirtFish making an announcement that they've got, I was going to say a trio, but a quadro. How do you say four? Quintuple is 5, a quad team, a quad squad. We're going to call it the DirtFish Quad Squad. That's what I'm rolling with. DirtFish Quad Squad of drivers for this year. They're fielding 4 drivers in ARX this year. Veterans Connor Martell and James Rimmer. You know them, my DirtFish Rally teammates. But we're bringing in Scott Anderson and new to the sport, Fraser McConnell from Jamaica. So 4-car team, the DirtFish Quad Squad, as we are going to call it. Going to attack COTA this coming weekend in the lights class. And then looking at Supercar, I haven't seen the final entry list, but obviously you got Patrick Sandell, Scott Speed, Chris Atco, Tanner Faust, Liam Doran, he raced the UK event. Looks like he's going to run full-time here, which is going to be exciting. Ken Block is back. Steve Arpan, which are awesome. And I don't know that like kind of revolving third Subaru seat, what's happening. I know David Higgins raced when they had the UK event. It sounds like Mr. TP 199, Travis Pastrana, he's going to be racing this weekend, at COTA, I believe. So I don't know, just looking, at this list of, there's veterans like Andy Scott. I don't know if you guys remember Andy Scott, but he raced in GRC, and we're talking way back in the beginning. He's an OG GRC racer. Andy Scott is. Timo Schneider, we got Renee Munich. There's a lot of different drivers that we don't normally see here in the States that I believe are going to run this series. Probably part of it is the investment financially to run it because it's such a short season this year. It makes it feasible for these guys to come and do it. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch there at ARX. And I haven't seen the Rallycross track yet for DirtFish ARX at COTA, but the way it sounds like from Mr. Arpin, they're actually laying down some tarmac and some dirt, and they're making it a permanent facility, which I've long thought needs to happen here in the United States. That's one thing with GRC that I didn't agree with. It's okay to have occasionally, a track run, that you build. Obviously, IndyCar does it. Long Beach Grand Prix, that's not a purpose-built facility. That's there. They run a street course. You do that a few times, but you also need a good mix of permanent facilities. It helps build your fan base. People can count on it. You have it just about the same weekend every year. It's the same place, the same track. The drivers know the corners. The fans do. The fans know when to show up. They know what they're going to get when they show up. And I've always thought for Rallycross to succeed in the United States, you need those facilities. And this isn't a European thing. This is just facts, right? You have to have them for it to be successful. And that's one thing that I think GRC failed at was they built these basically temporary structures. It cost a massive amount of money to do it every single event and every single year. But it was always a change. The dates always changed. The local fan bases like in Vegas, you had people go out to the event, 3-4 years in a row, and then all of a sudden, it's gone. Those fans, where do they go, right? If you're in Las Vegas, you find a different form of motorsport. But it's one thing I could say about short course off-road that's done really well. Outdoor motocross, same thing, right? There's permanent built facilities people go to. They can count on the weekends, like Redbud this last weekend, one of the biggest motocross events of the year, and it's on the same weekend every year. People know what to expect. They know it's going to be an epic good time. Crandon is one. Crandon Labor Day, People bank on that. They've been doing it for almost 50 years, and they plan it into their year. You have to be able to do that, and GRC never was. ARX is trying to do that, and I think that is the first step into making Rallycross successfully work here in the United States, and I applaud ARX for that. It's something that's needed to happen for a long, long time. So I am very, very excited about DirtFish ARX at COTA. Obviously, we had the event at Silverstone. That was a WRX or an RX round. That they piggybacked. That's not going to be a good judge of things. They're going to be running at Troy River in Quebec. That'll be awesome to watch, especially, it's a great track there. It's not, I wouldn't say it's European Rallycross caliber track, but it's a solid track. You've got the 2 rounds at COTA that are going to be great. They're going to be doing something, as Steve Arpan mentioned. I haven't seen the press release, so I didn't know it was out in the wild, but if Arpan said it on the show, we're allowed to talk about it. It's one of those things where, Nitro Circus, that puts this new series in front of a lot of eyeballs. Even if the track isn't 100%, it puts these drivers on national TV in front of a ton of eyeballs. And I think that is going to be that's going to be really special for this and to help build the fan base, and it's getting people to attach to these personalities and things like that. So, and I think it's actually going to bring in a lot of drivers and teams, when X Games and GRC parted ways, GRC was already established. So it was okay. They already, but I think with this new ARX, this gives them their Super Bowl event, right? And, I think every series, every form of sport needs that Super Bowl caliber event. IndyCar has the Indy 500. NASCAR has the Daytona 500. NHRA, they've got the event there in Indianapolis. That's their big one. There's a few big NHRA events, but, off-road, it's got Crandon. We've got the Min 400, the Baja 1000. You've got to have those Super Bowl caliber events and, at least one a year. And this gives ARX as a new series, a Super Bowl caliber event right out of the box. And I don't think, you can ask for much more. That's, to me, that's epic. So props to ARX for that. Nitro for opening them with open arms. Obviously, I'm sure Pastrana had a lot to do with it, so you got to tip the cap to Mr. TP. On what he was able to accomplish there, but I'm looking forward to it. This is a new form of Rallycross for the United States. It's not GRC. It's going to be different. Some of the same personalities, but I'm optimistic. I want a GRC to succeed. I want ARX to succeed as well. So looking forward to what's to come this weekend. DirtFish ARX at COTA. That is happening. Obviously, Lucas Oil Short Course, Midwest Short Course League. That's happening as well. I'll be up there for that. So you can get your fill with ARX and Midwest Short Course League this weekend online, man. You better be tuning into that live stream. I don't know where ARX is going to be live streaming at yet, but I think it is going to be. So definitely looking forward to watching that and the TV broadcasts when they come. So we're going to take a short break. We come back. Colin Braun with Core Autosport. He is calling in to the show to chat with us and talk about his big IMSA win. All that and more coming up after the break on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I've partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome Colin Braun to the line with Core Autosport. He races on those Continental tires. We got to slide that in there, but welcome to the show, Colin.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a while since we caught up. I think out there at Long Beach, you kind of showed me around your prototype car there, but that same prototype car just found its way to the top of the box. That has to make you feel really, really good about right now.
Oh, it does. I mean, getting our win in Mosport last weekend in the IMSA series overall against all of the big manufacturer cars and all that was fantastic. I mean, you know, great effort by the team, and you know, we had a lot of good speed the whole weekend. We were fast in practice, qualified on the pole, and won the race. So you don't get weekends like that too often.
No, and you know, that's a statement right there. You don't get weekends that are just the Cinderella weekend very often, you know, and you guys definitely had that. And I got to ask too, I mean, we'll talk a lot about your program and stuff like that in a minute, but you guys made the call, and you know, and one thing about IMSA, you know, you've got to, you know, you and John raced together. You qualified, you got the pole. You know, what was the thinking? Because, you know, you started with him. You guys go to the back of the field, right? I mean, you know, when you made that call, I mean, did you think like, hey, we're so fast, we think we can battle back? I mean, what went into the thought process for that whole, you know, that whole decision, man?
Wow, great question. Great question. It's tough, right? I mean, in the IMSA series, the driver that qualifies has to start the race, and if you want to change that starting driver, the penalty is you have to go to the back of the grid. And so we decided to, you know, we thought we had a shot at the pole. We thought, hey, let's put me in. Let's try to go get the pole. And then we can sit and decide what's going to be the best strategy. These weekends are tough with when the caution flags come out, how the race sort of unfolds. And we wanted to maximize our time of decision, basically. And so by doing that, we were able to sit there through, you know, the next day and kind of decide what we wanted to do, what our strategy was going to be, and we kind of determined it was going to be better. Put John in, take that penalty, start at the back. We thought the yellows would fall the way that actually they did fall this time, and it worked out really well. Our strategy was spot on, perfect.
Yeah, is that one of those I mean, you know, going in, it's like, man, this is a gamble. We're either going to look like heroes or goats right now, right?
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Either a hero or zero, you know.
Well, it definitely worked out in your favor, man. Well, and talking about IMSA, I mean, you had made mention, earlier, you guys going up against a big manufacturer teams. I mean, Core Autosport. I've seen what you guys do. I mean, you guys are a first-class organization, but like you said, you're very much going to up against some juggernauts, in prototype racing. I mean, how is that for you guys approaching each and every weekend?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I think there's some positives of being a smaller operation like we are. We've got a really great team owner in John Bennett, who I drive with. We've got a great group of guys. We are absolutely 100% all there for the same reason, trying to win races where, we don't have any inter-team politics. We don't have any influence from a big manufacturer or pressures of being, working for a big manufacturer. I mean, we're just out there, small group of guys trying to win races and do the best that we can. And so I think that, that gives us a little bit of an advantage. We don't have that pressure that a Team Penske or someone like that has the pressures of having to perform has. And so we've been, kind of the underdogs the whole year, but it's definitely a fun spot, and everyone roots for an underdog, so it's fun.
Yeah, well, and I never really thought about it, put it into perspective, but sometimes they say smaller is more efficient. And I could see that in motorsport when you've got these big super teams. And like you said, I mean, there's so many different agendas going on, and it's a push and pull with those teams and, and things like that. And you guys don't have that. You just can show up to the race and concentrate, hey, we're going to put a fast car out there and we want to win, and, a lot of that other stuff is just backburnered,
Absolutely. That's one of the, one of the joys of our little group. I mean, we're just focused on trying to win races, and whenever that needs to be done is done. And we're fast. We're efficient on making changes and deciding things that need to be adjusted or tweaked in the team. I mean, we can make those decisions on the fly. We don't have to run it up the corporate ladder, so to speak.
Yeah, well, and the thing about IMSA, here's a question, because you've been around the series a long time, and I compare it, because I'm a professional desert racer. I compare everything to off-road, right? And I know, I've got my trophy truck, and it looks the same, but if I'm going to the Baja 1000 or say Vegas to Reno, we've got coming up in 2 months, it looks the same, but it's a different truck than say if I run one of these short sprint races that I do 3 20-mile loops. You guys on the IMSA side, I mean, you've got things like Daytona where you're running for 24 hours, and then you've got some of these shootouts that are 2 hours long. I mean, what's the difference in the car when, say, you guys go to Daytona versus, one of these short sprint races?
Man, that's a great question, and I totally get it on the dirt side. The crazy part about the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Series is we don't really have any differences. I mean, we go to the long races and we go to the short races. We take the same car. We have the same equipment. Obviously we're putting less tires and fuel on the car during the race, but that's what is just incredible about the technology and the race cars that we're racing is, we can take that same car, we can go to Daytona and drive it absolutely flat out as hard as we can for 24 hours. And it's, knock on wood, 9 out of 10 times or so reliable throughout that whole 24 hours. I mean, the cars and the technology and the reliability has gotten to a point where it is just mind-boggling how hard and how aggressive you can drive the cars and how they just don't ever seem to break. It's incredible.
Yeah, that is nuts, because I honestly, I was thinking, I was like, there's got to be a lot of differences in the cars. You guys have, you make changes depending on the venue, and obviously you do spring rates, things like that. But, for the most part, it's kind of crazy that you guys show up with the same thing and, you can go run 24 hours or run 2 hours, and it's pretty much the same car. To me, that's rad. That says a lot about the technology that you guys have under the hood.
It sure does. And I mean, we all heard the stories about the sports car drivers in the past talking about how they had to save the gearbox, save the brakes, save this, save that. I mean, now at the 24 hours of Daytona or the 12 hours of Sebring, we are just flat out start to finish. There's no saving anything. There's no managing the brakes or saving the gearbox. We're just wide open the whole race as fast as we can go. And that's how competitive and how serious this kind of racing has gotten.
Yeah, well, and I think too, and you've been around, the sport of, of road racing for quite a while. I mean, I feel like IMSA right now is in such a good place. I mean, there was a time period back there when there was a split and there was 2 different series, and I think the waters were kind of muddied. or it was kind of muddy waters, and it was like, which side do you go on? Is it ALMS? Is it Grand Am? Like, I just feel like now, like, it's in such a healthy place, and I see, the teams are coming back, and, and this is just outsider looking in, but I feel like, what you guys are doing, I mean, it's such a high level now, and I feel like the fan interest has really come back, and I think it got lost there for a while, but I feel like, a lot of the interest in sponsors, manufacturers, teams, like, I feel like, it's all come back now with IMSA, and you guys are, the sport as a whole is in a really good spot.
I agree 100%. I mean, I think the quality of the racing has gotten really good too. I mean, the exciting races, the multi-class aspect, I think, is one of the big attractions to me with an IMSA race, because there's never really a dull moment. You've always got cars passing other cars. You've always got the unknown of how the race leader might catch traffic, or how the race leader in the GT class might catch traffic wrong. And so that constantly changes the flow of the race and keeps it exciting and on the edge. And like you said, I mean, the manufacturer interest that we have to help promote the series has been huge. The job Continental Tires has done to help promote the series and really put it in front of the fans has been huge. And I think it's one of these series where if you don't know about it and you haven't heard about it, maybe you're not interested. But as soon as you sit down and watch it and see what this is all about, I think it's it hooks a lot of people right in.
Yeah. Well, how is it for you? I mean, because obviously, you're a professional race car driver, and I think a lot of guys, you look at, some of the guys from IndyCar, it's like they come, they say in the twilight of their careers. I hate using that term, but, after they've accomplished everything they can in IndyCar, and then they come to road racing. I mean, you're a guy who, you've been there now, you're there at the elite levels of road racing. I mean, how do you see this thing 10, 15 years there, because this is one of those where you logically could spend your whole career, racing prototypes.
Yeah, absolutely. I could. I think it's for me, it's a lot of fun. It's a great place to race. It's fast cars. I mean, these cars in the LMP2 class, DPI class, I mean, we're 4 or 5 seconds a lap slower than an Indy car, and that's it. And I mean, we're pulling 4 Gs in the corners in these cars. They're incredibly fun to drive, really fast. And so I love driving what I'm driving now. And, it's great seeing guys from other series come in and compete. And I think all those guys have come in and really enjoyed it themselves. And for me, I've done a lot of sports car racing. I did a brief, 4 or 5 year stint doing NASCAR in the trucks and Xfinity level, and enjoyed my time doing that. But, man, there is something about, sports car racing that is just a blast.
Yeah. So, how does Core Autosport, you guys, you know what the top of the box feels like now. I mean, how do you repeat that? There's a few rounds left this year. I mean, how do you repeat that, again this year?
Well, I think, for us, we've got, a couple races left. We've got a couple test days that we've saved. We're going to go test at these tracks coming up. I think that's going to be a big component to our success. We're finally starting to understand this race car. We were new to the prototype class this year for Core Autosport, and so learning how to get the car set up, what it needs to be driven like, and how it changes over the course of a race and balance and all that is huge. And so putting all those pieces together kind of clicked for us here mid-season, and I'm hoping that momentum carries us through here the last couple races.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, Colin. Much appreciated. I know you're out testing some Ferraris today, it sounds like, so we'll let you get back to that. But thanks for calling in. We'll definitely chat soon, buddy.
Hey, man, can't wait. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Colin. All right, and that was Colin Braun with Core Autosport, your IMSA prototype winner on the weekend, and we will be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I've partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out VisionWheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome my next guest, my favorite trash talking, barbecue slinging, street bike riding buddy, Street Bike Tommy. How was that for an intro, buddy?
Hey, let me get some sound effects. Do the.
Yeah, I was trying to get the Ric Flair thing going on. Jet. I was trying to Street Bike Tommy it. So yeah, woo.
Yeah.
You gotta love Ric Flair. I don't care.
Dude, he's all-time great, man.
Yeah, dude, that guy.
Yeah, what's going on?
How
you been, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still the guy at 37 who watches pro wrestling every week. So, dude, I'm waving the hand up in the air right now. So, no, life is good,
it
man.
means you're winning because everybody else surrendered.
Yeah, everybody surrendered but me. I still watch it. I got my daughter hooked on that stuff now, dude. It's
that's awesome. That's the way to keep in the game.
Yeah, see, that's my excuse. I watch pro wrestling, but I just tell her. But I'm like, no, my daughter likes it. And I watch it with her. You get your kid hooked, and then it's like, yeah, it's you pawn off on there. Am I right? Too funny, man. No, life is good. Yeah, I supervise her. Yeah, I got to make sure. Awesome. You got to make sure it's PG, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, good. Life is good, man. I was up there at DirtFish with Jolene, and then I think she flew down to Vegas with you guys, and yeah, we got a lot to talk about, but I got to get the lowdown on the TP jump because I didn't get to. I watched obviously the replays, but I was flying when a good chunk was going on. I think I texted you and Hubert and Jolene as soon as I landed, and everything seemed like it was good. But give me the lowdown on this, dude. What how did everything go off?
I tell you what, as far as like the stunts and everything are concerned, it went flawlessly. Like everything was timed perfectly. Everything went really well with the TV packaging and everything like that. The jumps were super smooth. There were no mechanical issues or anything like that. So I mean, it was about as good as it can get for planned stunts like that. So the weather held out, because I mean there were some big clouds rolling in, and it got really, really, really windy there for a little bit, but gave it a little break for the whole stunt show. I mean the heat you really couldn't do anything about. I mean it was like 109 or something, and yeah, the heat was crazy, but everything went really, really well.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more than that. I mean, you've been around. I know I talked with Joe up there, and I've been texting with Travis the past couple of weeks. I haven't talked to him since the thing. But, I mean, you know, you've been around a lot of stunts Travis done and things like that. I mean, this was 3 of them in one day. You know, I mean, how does this rank up there? I mean, you know, these aren't the farthest jumps he's ever done or the most complicated. I mean, but I mean, was this more of like, I mean, this was Trav just paying tribute to a legend, right? I mean, you know, it was still legit jumps, but
the thing is, so I mean, I'll go ahead and cut right through the proverbial cupcake right here. You know, this audience that we're talking to right now is obviously action sports. You know, everybody pays attention. They know what things are. You know, and I you know, you'll hear some people banter in the background like, oh, it wasn't that big, or like, oh my God, that distance, this or that, and have these huge opinions on what actually happened. That's not at all what this whole thing was about. I mean, it 100% was about paying tribute to the greatest to ever do it. Evel Knievel is the guy that we all looked up to, and like pretty much, you know, he gave, you know, the kids that had that desire to put on a show. You know, every show pony that's ever existed has wanted to be Evel Knievel. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially in the action sports world. It's like he was the icon that that did it for all of us, opened up the doors, and really gave us that platform to be ourselves and be able to make a living out of it. So, I mean, Trav did 214 feet when he was like 12.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, but it was on dirt bikes. You know, this was, you know, it wasn't the biggest gap, but the fact that it was on a full-size V-twin,
yeah,
you have to give respect to that. And from what I was told by Trav, one of the biggest hurdles was the slippery Evel Knievel boots.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So for the last jump, he wore Evel's real boots, right?
Yeah, dude, and they wouldn't stick to the pegs.
And you wonder why Evel crashed all the time. I think it was. Yeah, you wonder with Evel if maybe it was form before function at some point, you know, and like it was all about the flash and it.
I mean,
like
you have to respect that.
Yeah. Well, I know, like.
Yeah, it's the style. And
yeah, dude, that guy.
That's what Evel was all about was style and like the way he made it look. You know, it was all about his performance. Like he would sacrifice anything if it just made it look better, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I know there was something, it was a quote Trav said, and it was about Evel, and I know, you know, it's like something Trav, you know, he lives and dies by, but he goes, you know, Evel's a man of his word. He'd show up and look at a jump and know he was going to crash and probably end up in the hospital, but he committed to doing it, so he'd go through with it, even though he knew it was just get the stretcher ready because I'm going to be using it. You know, it was one of those like, and you know that goes a long way. You know, he's a man of his word, and I know Trav is. You know, if he says he's going to do something, like, you know, Trav always with me. If he says he's going to do something, man, he does it. You know, and I think that, you know, that
100%.
Yeah. So I thought, you know, that was crazy, but yeah, I think, you know, and I talked about it in our opening segment. I think, you know, and I texted Trav yesterday and told him, I said, you know, I'm proud of the guy because this is not an easy thing. You know, you've got Evel Knievel, who he's up on a pedestal, man. And, you know, and if you're going to do a tribute to him, it's got to be done classy and in the right way. And, you know, and it's one of those, like, I think Trav, he couldn't have done it any better. You know, I think he did it in such a good way, you know, paid tribute to a legend. It didn't overshadow anything. You know, it wasn't like Trav goes, hey, I'm going to jump 200 feet farther than Evel. You know, he didn't do that. You know, he just went in and he tipped the cap to Evel and said, hey, man, you know, respect, you know. And I think, dude, he did everything perfectly.
But not only that, like what I loved was the nuances. I don't know if you picked up on it or not, but he jumped like Evel jumped. Like, nose high, like really horrible body posture.
Well,
oh my God, dude, I was cracking up the whole time.
No, I was laughing because I noticed that there was one of them. I swear it looked like Trav was sitting on the seat or something like that. I was just like, dude, that is so not Travis. Right. That is not how Travis would jump. No. But yeah, if you got a side-by-side shot of Evil and Travis, dude, they were totally like that. Had to have been awkward for Trav, just to do it that way.
Yeah, and dude, I tell you what, man, and just watching it in person, I felt like I was in a time machine. Like, I seriously felt like I got, like, if it wasn't for the tall buildings around, I would have thought that I somehow transported through time, because it was mirror image, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, there's just something too, like even if there's not an event going on, but if you drive into Caesar's Palace and go past the fountains, dude, there's just something special about it. Like being there and watching Trav jump them, dude, that's just special, and obviously that's not a very far jump in today's terms. It was massive when Evil did it. Metzger's backflipped him. I think Robbie Knievel's jumped him now at some point. But dude, it's just special being able to do that. Like, that's just rad, You seeing Trav jump that, like, it didn't matter what the hell he did it on. It's just awesome.
It was never, ever about the distance, you know what I mean? And, like, the TV will package it that way to get the general population involved and be like, oh, my God, I got to watch this because, people that don't know anything about the sports, you gotta captivate the general audience as well. But, I'm pretty sure that the action sports community, knows that this was not about the distance, It was paying homage, and I'll tell you what, Trav, man, it was so cool to watch. And the way they set it up, it was like, he did the first jump, and there was a nice little spot in between the first and the second. And it was, if you were there was actually like food and drink all around, and like we were actually hanging in the industry tent, which was pretty cool because it had some AC. I was pretty excited about that. But what was really cool was to see him go in transit from the backside of Planet Hollywood to Caesars, because he actually did that in the street in full dress on the bike and was like high-fiving people that were like passing by. Like, it was really, really cool. It was like a free event. You didn't have to buy a ticket. It was just like this really, really cool, like, oh man, it reminds me of like when I go to Evil Knievel Days for Evil Knievel's like 3-day event that they have out there, Evil Days.
Yeah.
It's like just free events. You walk from one thing to another for about 3 days, drinking in the streets and just having a really good time, checking out the different things that they have going on, and it's all free. So, I mean, it really took me back to that, because I go every year to Butte, Montana for that event. And it's like one of the best things in the world, because I love seeing stuff like that where it's not controlled by like a Ticketmaster or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, this is for everybody. Just come check it out. You know what I mean? I really, really enjoyed it. And History Channel did such a great job at putting it on properly, and everybody, top to bottom. I mean, the staff, and you had Mateus up there making sure everything was running great. It was just everybody did a great job. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, I'm just stoked on how everything came off. You talk about Evil Days, man, and that's something I'd love to get up there too. That's where Godfrey jumped the semi truck and then Tanner jumped the Razor a couple years ago. Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
yes, sir, I was there for that too, man.
Tanner, that deal, Tanner, I had him on air I think the day after it happened or something like that, and dude, that guy with his walking stick just flogging it, like, I'm like, dude, this guy's got balls, man.
Dude, I thought that was going to go bad, because he flew that thing like to its max, and when you jump UTVs all the time, they tend to go a little nose heavy when you have them topped out like that.
Yeah,
man, he was coming. I was like, and he like barely like I was like, that would fuckered me up a little bit.
Yeah, well, there's a point when you jump UTVs, dude, where it's like you can jump them pretty far and everything's good, but there's a point where you jump so far, and I don't want to say you lose control, but a lot of it's gas and throttle, and you can kind of control the attitude of it in the air. But you start jumping these farther distances, and it ends up being like Russian roulette. Like, you just can't you can't control it for very long. And I mean
you can you can make adjustments, but you're really like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get to a point where you're jumping so far, it's just like you're along for the ride, man. There's no, like you said, you can make small adjustments, but when you're jumping, 200 feet and things like that, it's just like you said, Jesus, take the wheel, man. Is it my time or not?
Yeah, man. I love the big jumps, though. I mean, they're scary as all heck, but Polaris makes such a great product. I'm not just saying it. I rolled one on the 3rd at we were at Travis's house for the 4th, the holiday, and on the 3rd we were out back messing around, and I ended up cartwheeling one 3 or 4 times. I don't really remember because I wasn't wearing a helmet. Don't tell anybody, but I was a little dinged after that, and the whole thing is so well made, man. I mean, I had to be doing probably 55, 60, and it was like a very short jump. Like it had some distance, but it was like low to the ground. And when I hit the ground with the front end, it just kind of did this front flip thing a whole bunch of times. And man, it really didn't do that much damage. I was very impressed with the cage.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So what's the word with you, man? I know Street Bike Tommy. I've been seeing this barbecue rig rolling around, and what's going on with you? What is keeping Tommy busy right now?
So as you know, I mean, I took this year off pretty much from tour to really start my own business. It's been something I've been talking about for a long time, and I've just kind of like been like, I'm just going to do it in steps and kind of like, when I can do it, I'm going to do it. But it really just, I don't know what, but I changed my attitude or like where I was mentally. But New Year's, I was like, New Year, new me, I'm going to start a business. And like, took the year off from tour. And I went out to Utah to where, so I did an apprenticeship. Like I worked at my buddy's restaurant, one of the best pit masters in the world. Cameron True. He owns Bam Bam's Barbecue in Orem, Utah. And I worked in his restaurant 2 years ago to really learn how to be in the restaurant industry. Like, he's a friend of mine, really close buddy, and he invited me out, and I learned how to barbecue. Well, I actually bought his food truck from him because I worked on his food truck, and I fell in love with it because it's a monster. It's such a big food truck. So I could do events. That's my plan because actually I'm going to be at Bud's Creek National coming up with my food truck, and I'm also going to be doing Red Butt. And that's in October. So and the reason why I have such a big food truck is so I can service so many people. So I mean, I can serve probably 2,000 to 2,500 people out of our truck and trailer per day. So I mean, it's a no joke food truck, but we just passed our health inspections, fire inspections, all that stuff. So we're actually legal and stuff like that. So I mean, it's
we're actually legal.
Actually doing.
We're actually legal.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like I'm doing it the right way, which is really cool. And everybody that has our stuff, I mean. Not only is our, just the fact that I'm doing it because I'm on the truck, I'm cooking, I'm serving, like, it's not something that I just, like, create and like, pass off. Like, I'm doing this because I love talking to the people. I love serving my food to the people that know what it is that we've done for so many years, and barbecue aficionados stop by and tell me how great I'm doing. Cam really, he's my master sensei. So Cameron True, man, he really showed me the ropes really well, and my rig's in tip-top form, man. Even if you're not a barbecue person, we got wiener schnitzel hot dogs. So, I mean, we're throwing hot dogs out the side, and because I got my Traeger grill kicking on the side, man. It's awesome. It's a hell of a setup.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I know, it's funny you talk about that, like in the barbecue world, we've been talking about TP, today, earlier. And, dude, there's like in the barbecue world, there's some guys that are like Travis Pastranas of the barbecue world, right? I mean, these guys are like the heroes and legends,
Yeah, dude. I mean, Myron Mixon, you see these guys on the big shows. What was that? Pitmasters, Barbecue Pitmasters, on the Food Channel and all that. That Tuffy, all those guys, they're just super, super good, and they're big names. Like, there's also like sponsors and stuff. Like, I mean, if you're going to talk about like the Red Bull of the meat world, I work with Snake River Farms. They're like the biggest name in like competition briskets and stuff like that because they offer such like high grade Wagyu meat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's very similar. It's very, very similar. There's the big name sponsors. There's the superstars out there like Cameron True and Tuffy and those guys. So I mean, it's pretty funny because they all actually have like a following and stuff too. Like, people drive. I mean, have you ever heard of Franklin's in Texas?
Yeah.
Like, that's like the go-to spot. That guy's got a line around the block, sells out every day, like has a huge operation. I mean, it's been really fun to be part of a new community that's like one and the same,
Yeah, you feel like I mean, because you're famous, dude. Like, you feel like you being Street Bike Tommy, like, people, it gets them in the door. Like, hey, they see you at an event, like, hey, I'm gonna try. I'll give Tommy a try. Because they know who you are. So it's like, hey, we'll see if he's legit. We'll give him a try.
100%. And what's funny is I think that people, I mean, especially knowing how I am, like, my success rate of stunts and stuff like that is pretty much zero. But they know I'm passionate. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't have a high success rate, but I'm passionate about stuff. And I think that people know just by looking at me that if there's one thing that I'm passionate about, it's food. And I do make some really, really phenomenal barbecue. And like, that's what been like one of my favorite things about this whole venture is actually not disappointing people. Like, they come in and they're really actually still amazed at how good the food really is. I mean, our product is tippy top right now.
Dude, that's rad. I'm still laughing about the success rate thing, dude. You and I, we get talking and we can go all over the place. But I got to tell you the one that I don't know if it was a success or fail, but what was the one? I don't even remember what movie it was on at this point. It was one of your guys' videos, but you went down like the huge slip and slide and you got all rashed up, I think. God, what one was it?
Oh yeah, no, I landed on. That was so Nitro Circus, the DVD 3.
Yeah.
Was the first. The first one was in number 2, but like the one that I did, because it got bigger by then, was the number 3, and it was the one that crisscrossed, and we did a lot of testing and tuning with that one, and we didn't know which way it was going to shoot you out to go to the pool, because we couldn't really get the slide right because you're digging and you're making adjustments as you go, but somebody had to be the guinea pig to get thrown out like time after time after time, and guess who that was? That was me. You're signing up for failure. But out of all the years, Nitro Circus, I do have like my success rate of, God, what is it? Creeping up on 15. It's over 15 years now that I've been doing Nitro Circus, and I've had a success rate of landing a single backflip on a 250 two-stroke dirt bike back in like 06. And then my skydiving was pretty much my only. Oh, and I won a rally once.
Yeah, you won a rally. I was there, dude. I saw it. You were a Street Bike Tommy. Beat Travis Pastrana. Dude, you beat TP, and nobody can take that away. You got the trophy to prove it, man.
That in my Baja finisher pin.
Yeah,
that's the second time in competition that I beat him.
Poor Trav, when you did the rally, then his motorhome broke. What's that?
Oh, did I ever tell you the Baja story?
No, I don't know the Baja story. I didn't know you got a finisher pin. I mean, I know Trav's gone down there a ton, but I didn't know you had.
So the year that he burned down his Class 1?
Yeah.
That same year, we had just like me, Jim DeChamp, Chris Alton, and I forget his name. He runs the that other Action Sports podcast or something. I forget it. God, I'm drawing a blank. But this was back in 06, 07, something like that. We all, like, me, Hubert, Jim, we all loaded up in Travis's 350 at the time and took a king quad from out of the shop and ran Baja from Ensenada to La Paz on a king quad.
Oh, dude.
I'm not even joking.
That had to have been a long day.
Yeah, 4 inches. Dude, it was insane. It was like one of the most fun trips I've ever had. Ensenada to La Paz all the way down. Like, I think it was like 1,100 miles or something stupid like that. It was crazy.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, that was the year that he burned down, and me and him were actually on the same night section. He was driving, and I was riding the quad, and I got to the next checkpoint, and I didn't know that his truck had burned down. And I stopped at his I think he was running with God, who was he running with back then? BF Goodrich. I stopped in at the truck and was like, "Hey, did Todd come to you yet?" And they were like, "No." I was like, "Ha ha ha ha." So, but I didn't know he burned down.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, I actually came across a campfire in the middle of the night, and I stopped, and it was a car that was like burnt up, and I took a picture of it on my cyber shot and kept on going. And to find out that was actually Trav's burning vehicle. I have the picture. I got to send that to you one day.
Oh, dude, one thing I'll say about Trav is when you beat him, like, it's always so bad for him. It was like even the rally. Like this one, you beat him and his car burns down. The rally, the dude crashes out, and then his motorhome breaks down on the ride home. Like, dude, when you beat Trav, it's like, dude, Trav's just like, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so funny because, I mean, but he takes it in stride because he knows damn well that, like, you know, you put us in any type of equal racing vehicle and he'll get me every time because, I mean, the dude's just the most talented dude on the planet. Like, he really, really is.
He is. He's ridiculous how good
I'll
he
tell
is.
you, I'll tell you all day long that, like, you know, he's got, you know, probably 10 seconds a lap on me if driving anything. You know, go-karts, you name it. Like, the dude's, like, insane faster than me, but I got a habit of getting in his kitchen, you know what I mean? And I've managed to come away with 2 wins, and I don't let it live it down either.
Oh, that is too funny, man. Well, shoot, it's always good catching up with you. I'm sending you right now as we're on the phone. Hopefully you get text right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm sending you a picture of my new toy. I got a unicorn that came in yesterday. I sent a picture to Jim York, and he's already offering to buy it from me. When you see it, you'll see it, and you'll be like, "Oh man, dude, that's like a full-on rarity. Never been shot, 20+ years old. Wait till this thing pops through." People that are listening right now on radio, they're just like, "What the heck? What are you guys talking about?" What's that?
No, dude. I spent that's another thing that we did in Vegas, man. I got some really, really sweet trigger time at Battlefield Vegas. We were shooting miniguns, Maw Deuces, fully automatic. I mean, like we went straight from like pretty much up all night, having a good time at the clubs, and woke up, got some breakfast, and shot some really, really cool guns, man.
Dude,
you'd really enjoy Battlefield Vegas.
York's been trying to get me out with him, but yeah, H&K USP Match 45, a.k.a. the Tomb Raider gun. Never been shot. It's in the ultra-rare two-tone. They only made a couple hundred of them. So, dude, I finally nailed one down. It took me 15 years to find this gun.
That's awesome. I have the 45 Tactical, but they're you know, dime a dozen.
Yeah.
That thing's beautiful, man.
Dude, it's never been shot. And like I told York he's like, "I'll buy it from you." And I'm like, "It ain't for sale. I've hunted for 15 years for this." But I said, it's almost like I need to go and find a second one just so I can shoot it, because this one's never been shot, and I don't want to, pop it. This is like a collector's gun. You don't want to pop the cherry, you know? It's like, I need to go find one that's already been shot.
It's been shot. They shoot it at the factory.
Yeah,
so
well, yeah, but
I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, it's not a shooter though. It's not like this thing's had 1,000 rounds pumped through it or something like that.
I got you.
You know, but it's
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And just so everybody at home knows, Jim York was my rep at Silencer Co. for a very long time, and supplied me with suppressors. So he's a friend of Jim and I's.
Yeah.
And he's now at Black Rifle Coffee. So Jim's a good friend of the group.
Yeah, and big shout out to Black Rifle Coffee. I was up there at DirtFish. They gave some epic packages away up there at DirtFish for charity. So the dudes at Black Rifle
They're
Coffee,
so cool,
dude,
they
give back, man. It's awesome. So we'll give them that nice little plug here. But awesome, Tommy. Well, I know I got to wrap this show up. We've gone over time, and I just don't care at this point. So we're over time, but you and I get talking, and we just roll with it. So the people online, they're lucky.
It goes all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, we'll give you a shout back after we get off air, dude. We gotta talk about a few things, but always fun having you on air, buddy. And thanks for catching up.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. Always a pleasure, my friend.
All right, take it easy, Tommy.
You too, brother.
All right. Later. All right, that was Street Bike Tommy, and we'll be back wrapping things up after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you, but you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Whether you're looking for a tire that balances high performance responsiveness and traction in wet and light snow conditions, excellent handling and traction in wet and dry conditions, or a summer performance tire designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has you covered. From the all-new G-Max RS to the Grabber ATX, no matter what you drive, General Tire will get you where you're going. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. General Tire, cruising with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Wrapping things up here, and you know how it is. We get Street Bike Tommy on air, and things tend to get a little bit out of hand, and we go over. So awesome having Tommy on. If you're listening in national syndication, you missed like probably a massive chunk of that interview. So you're going to have to go to Project Action on Podcast 1 and get that. Make sure and subscribe to Project Action. It'll be dropping this Thursday with Street Bike Tommy. So we're giving Tommy the Project Action treatment this week. But awesome. Always awesome catching up with Tommy. I don't know. I think we need to give him a regular segment here on the radio show. Just saying it needs to happen very soon. That way we don't go way over. But thanks to Tommy for calling in. Colin Braun. Got to give a shout out to Andrew Carlson, my boy Steve Arpan. Don't forget we got ARX this weekend happening there. DirtFish ARX at Coda. I'll be at Elk River, Minnesota, ERX Motor Park for the Lucas Oil Midwest Short Course League. Make sure and tune in. LucasOilTV.com. Download the app. You can watch me, basically host a live stream for a couple days this weekend. We got Pro Motocross, more NHRA, IndyCar, lots of action. We got lots of racing, lots to talk about the next couple of weeks, that's for sure. Big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Vision Wheel, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, DirtFish, Impact, Optimus, MotoShield Pro, Terracross, Blue Water Resort and Casino, GenuinePolarisParts.com as well. All the supporters of this show. I am at JimBeaver15, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all forms of social media. We got that Facebook group. It's at facebook.com/group/JimBeaver15. All our content dropping at downanddirtyshow.com. All the articles, news, notes, and everything you need to know from the world of action motorsports. Looking for a discount at DirtFish. It's coupon code JBDirtFish. That'll get you 15% off at DirtFish Rally School. And don't forget, once again, subscribe to Project Action and the Down and Dirty Radio Show on iTunes. And we've got that, that Instagram account for the Down and Dirty Radio Show. It's at Down and Dirty Show. So, thank you guys, once again, for listening, each and every week here, keeping us, cranking, letting us do our thing and, and supporting us. So, we will be back next week with another episode. Probably have some winners from ARX and, Lucas Oil Midwest Short Course League, and, trying to, dial in Pastrana for an interview soon as well. And I don't know, maybe Ken Block in the next couple of weeks too, to talk about his new program there with Steve Arpan. So lots coming at you. Thank you guys. Be safe. As always, game on.